So you're going to race the legendary Marathon des Sables. I did it in 2019, came a respectable 70th place. It was one of the best experiences of my life. I absolutely loved it, and you're going to have an absolute ride. So I'm going to give you 5 of my top tips to get you through that race. Right then, let's get straight into it. Tip number 1, take your salt tablets. When I arrived, I got given a packet of salt tablets. I don't know how many were there, but there were plenty to see me through the whole race. I was told every time I drank a bottle of water to take 2 salt tablets, okay? It's so important. I'll give you a good reason why. There was an elite runner 3 tenths away, and the first day he was smashing it. The second day he was doing really well. Third day he came back, he was completely ashen white. He felt really sick. He was in a lot of trouble, and I escorted him off to the medic tent just to take him there, and I don't remember seeing him again. So he's obviously got sent home. And when I asked him when he was running, I said, "Did you take your salt tablets?" And he said no. So tip number 1 is take your salt tablets. Got my water filled, taking an extra bottle, have my salt tablets. I am ready to roll. Okay, tip number 2, tape your feet. It's so important. If you've been training, you've done your mileage, your feet will get hardened, you should be having calluses, you know, your feet will be prepared for all the MDS, right? I suggest that you moisturize your feet so you have a nice soft, supple skin. You should be practicing taping your feet prior to the race, so that when you turn up, you know exactly what you're doing. I was a master of it by the beginning of the race. What you buy is a bit of a hapla band. You get some benzoin tincture, get a big bottle like this, decant it into a small little spray gun like that. You don't need a lot of it, and that will spray onto your toes, and that will give you a bit of disinfectant, and also it will give it a bit more adhesion with your hapla band, okay? I used a foot cream as well, just to put on the soles of my feet and around the feet. Squirrel's nut butter is quite good. There's all sorts of creams you might be using, but it's so important to tape your feet from the very beginning. I had no problems with my feet at all, okay? The only problem I had was just before, probably 2 weeks before, I decided to cut down my calluses a little bit, and I went a bit too shallow, and that got quite sore on one of my toes. But apart from that, my feet were perfect. So remember that. Tape your feet. So my next tip, my 3rd tip, is basically when you're cooking. One of the best parts of MDS is the evenings. You've had a tough old day, you're really tired, you've been relaxing now with your friends, your tent mates. It's really good fun, and it's time to do some cooking. Use one of these Esbit stoves, they're brilliant and really lightweight. Let's get that out of there. And you buy the fuel from, there's a place there, you can just buy some, really easy to get. But the problem is the flame obviously is quite a fat flame, and it moves around because it's very windy in the evenings. So what people were doing is they bought an actual made up little cover, a little windbreaker, which I thought was really good. I had some foil, which I kind of had to sort of DIY it. It wasn't very good at all. But if you had just a nice little windbreaker there, it just set yourself up nicely for the evening, so you could have a good old cook up. So this next tip's more of a safety one. You get given this road book, which gives you all the information you need. And within that book, you get given a map of where you're going, nice and pictorial, nice and simple to follow, and you also get a more detailed map showing all the checkpoints and showing you which bearings you need to take. So it's really important that you have a very simple knowledge of how to use one of these, and that's the compass. You never know what might happen. Pretty much all the time, you always have someone in front of you. There is always someone behind you if you just stop and wait, but you may get hooked up in a sandstorm. You just don't know what's going to happen. So I do recommend you have a very basic knowledge of this. I'm not saying it's a self-navigation, don't panic. It's not a self-navigation race. There's markers, everything is all good, and at night they put neon signs out, there's neon lights, all sorts of things. It's really easy to get yourself around, but just in case, have a little bit of knowledge of the compass. So I'm not sure if this is a tip or more of advice really, but it's all about bag weight. When I went out, I started off on the first day with 9.5 kilos. I weighed 70 kilos as a runner. It was terrible. I trained with a bag of about 5 to 6 kilos, but when I actually got everything on, I packed everything up, got all the calories, panicked, thought I'd put a few more bits in, etc. 9.5 kilos. Ran the first day, smashed my shoulders up, didn't enjoy it, went back to the tent, re-looked at all my weight. I took out food, threw things away, just got my weight down as much as possible. And as the race progresses, obviously your bag is going to get lighter. Also, you'll notice that everyone will be doing the same, and there'll be food, there'll be bits and pieces you can pick up from people, definitely on the food front. So don't be too concerned about packing loads and loads of food. Just get that bag weight down. I don't know what would be good for you, but for me, 8 kilos, 8.5 kilos would be a very, very good starting point. So there we go, they're my top 5 tips. I think one of the biggest ones really I didn't talk about was hygiene. It's really, really important to keep your hands clean, and when you're going to the toilet, and also before you're eating. It's very, very important to do that. So make sure you take loads of anti-bac with you. We've lived through COVID, so we should all be good at that. And my final tip is to take some dried mango. If you like that, that was really good. It was like a nice natural sweet to take, and I shared that around my campmates, and that was really nice on the 2nd or 3rd day. I'm going to do a video on taping feet and also foot care. That will come out soon, so make sure you subscribe. Make sure you click that notification bell button. Please do leave some questions in the comments. I will reply. And yeah, thanks for watching.